Welcome to Handmade by Hallie. Here's my next video. We will need these Dollar Tree palettes, some Mod Podge, a paintbrush, an X-Acto knife, some scissors, some wire cutters, napkins of your choice, some ribbon or fabric, something for a stem, and flowers if needed. The first thing we will do is start off by putting a thick coat of Mod Podge onto the palettes. Make sure not to water this down. You want it thick, and then you want to let it dry thoroughly before attaching to the palettes. Make sure to note how many layers of paper are on your napkins. Don't make the mistake that I did and only separate two. I had to take off 2 sheets of white before I got to the layer with the color. While the Mod Podge is drying, I'm going to make some simple bows. I'm going to start with some strips of fabric, then take some wired ribbon, cut it to size, cut off the wire and cut it into strips. Layer this up, and then I take a half of a pipe cleaner to attach and twist around the back side of those bows. Next, I'm going to trim this down to fit my project, cut off some off the end, and then slant each of the sides. This is a little bit messy, but worth it in the end to get it to look the way I want it to. Here I'm going to make a Halloween bow to go with the black and white, and doing the same process, getting my fabric laid down, taking some ribbon, cutting the edges off, making that into strips, and just getting this all laid out the way I want to. I will then take a pipe cleaner that kind of coordinates with the color and pinch this all together, twist it around the back, and then these bows are ready to be trimmed like the other ones. Go ahead and trim the ends off so they're the proper length, and then angle the edges. This gives it a little bit of a finished look rather than leaving those ends blunt straight. And then we have these cute little Halloween bows to go on one set of the pumpkins. Okay, so next we have one last bow to go with our little pumpkins. This one I'll use a ribbon for the base and this green that matches really well. Do the same process with cutting off the wired edge, cutting them into just strips and layering those. Then I'm going to add some strips of burlap that I have that will look nice with these. Then again, I'm going to put a half a pipe cleaner, twist these or pinch it in the middle, twist them around the back, and then trim the edges, and we'll be ready to put these on our pumpkins when they are all finished. Now that our Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to take my iron and just iron these pieces of the napkin that I have prepared. And I just press firmly. Then I'm going to let these cool off, and once they're cooled off, I'm going to trim a little bit off of the edges with the scissors, and then I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and sand off the rest that's hanging off the edges. It doesn't take a whole lot of sanding, just takes a little bit, and I'm going to do that to all 6 of these pieces. Now that I have these all prepared the way I want to, I'm going to put another thick layer of Mod Podge over the top of the napkins that are attached to the little pallets. This will help seal the napkin, make it waterproof, give it a little bit of a shine. Then I'm going to add the little tops I have for the stems, and I decided I wanted to put a piece of coordinating ribbon around the edges to disguise the palette. I could have painted these before I put the Mod Podge and the napkin on there, but that was kind of an afterthought, and I'm kind of pleased with the way these look with the ribbon around the edge. I just measured around the palette, cut a strip with the edge left on there, and I put 2 of them with the orange, then 2 of them with this green, and then 2 of them with the orange and black and white stripe. Now would be a good time to remind you, if you're liking this project at all, to hit that like button and that follow button. Make sure you get notified when I upload a new video. Now I can attach the little wood pieces I have for the stems. Just add some hot glue and get those on there. Then I add some moss around the front of the pumpkin and onto the top around the stem, using a clothespin to hold it while it's drying. Then I ended up using a cinnamon stick that I cut about in half onto the black and white pumpkins. One of them kind of splintered a little bit, but held together enough. And then again, put some moss on the front and the top. Then these will be ready to add the bows and be finished up. So now all that's left is to attach these bows. Wrap the pipe cleaner around the stem, add a little bit of glue underneath the bow, and then hold it with the big clothespin. Cut off any of the pipe cleaner on the back that isn't needed. I did on a couple of these add a little bit of yellow flowers where I felt I needed them, but it didn't need much to get these finished up. So don't forget to hit that like and follow. Here's our finished project. Thanks for joining me today. See you again soon.